Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Listen Along. I am your host, William. I'm also the drummer for Glass Beach. And today I am very excited to be joined by Backxwash, the rapper, the Canadian rapper, Backxwash, who, the recently vaccinated Canadian rapper, Backxwash, who we're going to be listening to Stigmata, the EP Stigmata, which is not her most recent release, but it is one that we're both big fans of. And so if you haven't heard it before, it's not on streaming platforms, so that's going to be a little different. If you've never been here to any of the listen-alongs, which I have done, this will be number 14, I think, of the listen-along series so far. In the past, I've had bands on like Origami Angel, Pink Shift, Cheek Face. I had McKinley Dixon on recently as well. I've covered a whole crew of people. You can find all of those and this one after it's done here today. I think it'll go up on Monday on the Second Glass Beach channel on YouTube, and it is literally called the Second Glass Beach channel on and that's on YouTube. That's where you can find this. There's a playlist called Listen Along that has all of them in it. I encourage you to check those out. I mean, I've had a lot of really cool artists on who have gotten to talk about their albums and their work. It's been very fun. I'm excited to continue that today. But usually I listen on a streaming provider, or I use the Green Music app. Some people use the fruit with the bite taken out of it. But today it is not on streaming platforms, so I'm going to guide you all to Ashanti's Bandcamp so that we can listen to it. And the way that that'll work, let's go to the image screen here. So first, going to visit the Bandcamp. Purchase the album and merch if you can, or you can do it after. That's fine. But I would encourage you, if you have the means, please support the artists that I bring onto this show. Supporting them in turn supports me. If you really think about it, don't think too hard though. And then after that, we're going to not open a streaming service, but we're going to stay on the Bandcamp. We're going to go there. I'm going to do a countdown, which is a 3, 2, 1, go. That was not it, but that's what it will sound like when we are going to sync up. So hit play on go to sync with me and with Ashanti, and we should be good. It's a 4-song EP. This is going to be a bit of a lighter day. Very excited about that. And then, you know what? Who knows? Down the line, maybe I'll have Backxwash on again to cover more music, because, I mean, I love Stigmata. I love God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It. And your newest record is amazing. So there's a lot in the back catalog that I personally would be overjoyed to cover. And you'll see here, the last thing is !listen in the chat. If you are in the chat and you type !listen, that will bring up a link to Backxwash's Bandcamp. And there's a secondary link there as well. That is the Backxwash link tree, which has pretty much everything you could desire. So check that stuff out. I'm going to move on to the web browsing screen. So now you'll be able to see Backxwash. Here we go. All right, you're visible now.
Hi.
Okay, so in front of us here, I have, in front of us, it's to, I think, our right. It's left on screen, but I have the Bandcamp for Backxwash pulled up. I have it on Stigmata specifically. So you can see that here. We've got Stigmata. Also, really quick, who took the photo?
Oh, so the photo was done by my creative director, Chachi Mishan Vipweb, and it was taken because we were thinking about the concept of the project as well, and and they just came up with this like genius plan to have this photo of me taken, kind of like replicating like Jesus essentially.
Yeah.
And we took the photo, and it was Meshan's genius, where they were like, oh, we should have this painted. So that's actually a painting.
That's a painting?
Yeah, that's Jacob Mayday.
What?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I think we should have the credits on.
Oh, sure. Here, let me zoom in on that if I can. Here, I'm gonna. Oh,
I don't know.
It's gonna get weird. Okay.
Yes, I think we have the credits, but anyway, it was painted by Jacob Mayday, and they are like, when we got it back, we're just like, what the fuck? Because
Yeah.
it was so good.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so
let me get a close up of this. That's a
yeah,
painting? Oh, it is. Oh, I
yeah,
can see it now that I have it close up. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, and so the original idea for the picture, uh, when you watch the spells video, we actually took the pictures the same time we were shooting the spells video, and we had this like fake blood on it, and we got like a bunch of pictures, and we sent it to Jacob, and Jacob was able to, you know, kind of like paint it the way we wanted. Just like the combination of just like Meshant and Jacob just worked perfectly, and it complemented the sound extremely well. So, I was very happy about that. I was blown away when I saw it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Mishant is relatively your photographer for everything, pretty much, right? Except for like live photography. I know you had like you did did you do a release show like for your most recent record?
Yeah.
And that was photographed by somebody else, though, right?
Yeah, because Meshant's like creative, so they take care of everything. So it's like, how the flyer is going to look. They're my, video director. They're like my, concert director. And I just, let them work because I completely trust them and trust their eye and just trust their vision. Like it's so incredible how it worked because sometimes it's just spontaneous. Like the recent press pics that we took, Meshant was just like, well, I have this idea, I want to try it. And we tried it out. And I was just in love with like I was just in love with the look and how it made me feel. So,
oh, yeah. Well, your the ones in the bathtub are so scary. They are so scary. I was looking them over with my partner because I was trying to come up with like which photo I wanted to use for the promotion of this live stream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the listening screen so that we're both a little bit bigger. It doesn't change anything on your end. Okay. But I was showing them to her because I was like, oh, what photos should I use? And I was going through the ones before where it's like you outside or something, and like they're monochromatic, and those are also like there's an air of like creepiness to them as well because I mean you have your long fingers and you're like really like blown out wig and everything. It's stark. And then I'm like just flipping through them, and then I hit the first one in the bathtub, and my partner was just like, "Whoa!" she was just like, "That's actually scary," and I was like, "Yeah, it catches you off guard."
Yeah, that's Meshant. Like they're like, it's absolutely dope. I was so surprised when I saw it. I was like, "What the hell? That is extremely terrifying."
I'm sure there's people in chat. I'm having a hard time. I'm sorry, people in chat. If you're here, I was not able to connect to it for some reason. It was not connecting. Let me see if I can snag this. Is this gonna screw stuff up if I do that? No, it's good. Okay. I'm sorry if I missed some people in chat. Hold on. What am I doing here? There we go. Just check this out. Let's see if I can take a look at the chat. Yeah, it was not connecting. So if you said something and you wanted me or Ashanti to see it, we didn't. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But you can say it again right now, because I know there are people here, so you can chime in. If you have any questions at the top, chat, I'd be happy to pass those along here really quick. Great. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, I before we get into this, and now would be a good time, chat, to !listen and click the first link there to go to the Bandcamp, because this is not on streaming services, so Oh, with Squared, it was mostly us freaking out about how the cover art was a painting. Oh, good. Disposable America says just talking cover art and Fetty Wap, nothing new. Okay. Great. So if you do exclamation point listen in the chat and you click the first link, which I see that Carrying Lizard has done. Thank you, Carrying Lizard. And we've got Vario6 in here too. Have you and Ada been working on your collab record lately?
Yeah, I need to. I started writing, and I need to start like recording, essentially. But I'm taking like a complete backseat when it comes to like the production because I just love what Ada is doing. But I can give a few spoilers. So the spoilers are about the idea of Dante's Inferno and the different types of hells in there. So we're taking the listener on a journey through like the first stage of hell to like the end. So it's really exciting. I'm like, the beast that like Ada sent are just like, what the fuck?
That's such a good. That is such a good idea. That's such a good concept, and especially for your music, because that guides very well into what I was going to talk to you about. Because you're you use a lot of religious imagery and like themes in the way that Stigmata alone, if you are in fact like using the biblical Stigmata and not like the 1999 movie Stigmata or whatever, it's probably related in some way, but there's like the 5 stigmatas, which are like the thorns on the head, the whips on the back, the holes in the hands and the feet, and the spear in the side or something. Which like I did look that up a while ago when you first released Stigmata, because I was like, what does this mean? Which is so funny because I grew up extremely conservative Christian, that like I have a background in a lot of that stuff, and I think part of that is the reason why I like your music so much.
Thank you.
is aside from it just being generally exceptional, it's very good. I also think the biblical, almost like the anti-Christian elements of it are pretty great for me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's when I like started like getting out of my Christian teachings, I started going back to the books, and one of the things that you realize is some of the stuff in the Bible is extremely metal. Yeah, like there is some wild shit, especially in the First Testament. I grew up in a church where I think all we did was like the First Testament. And I've been like in a lot of churches and in a lot of denominations. I've been a Jehovah's Witness. I've been a Pentecostal. I've been a Catholic. So I've been like in so many denominations. And, some of the stories you hear are just, they're extremely metal in a sense. So I've always wanted to like gain like some of the elements in a way and just like turn them on their head. So when I started doing Stigmata, I've always had this idea of getting samples from and black metal, so it's like Christian black metal, and using them throughout an entire project. It was going to be like, I think I was planning for like 10 songs for like a full-length project, but I just released like God Is Nothing, and I was a bit tired, and I wanted to get on like a third album. But just like the idea of like, oh, we're gonna get like these stems and just like twist them on their head. So I guess the whole idea behind the project is just from the sound perspective, from the visual perspective, just like getting all of that and twisting it on its head into kind of that struggle between like heaven and earth type thing.
Yeah, and that really comes through. I mean, like the twisting the samples is, it's really done excellently. There's I especially one of my favorite things is when you take like samples of like, I don't know, like preachers or televangelists or something, like and using just the eerie tone of like really extreme, almost Calvinist Christianity, and just like not changing it at all. The like and
Okay.
just like using that like as it is sounds like really aggressive and like very like it's almost scary on its own, and then like the way that
Okay.
you use the production and the instrumentals and everything around it uh kind of just beefs up what's already there. It's great.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
I've stalled long enough. I feel like people can have had their chance to open the Bandcamp. I'll do it. Say it one more time. This is not on streaming services. You have to go to the Backwash Bandcamp, ! Listen in the chat. We'll bring up 2 links. The first one is specifically for the Bandcamp for Stigmata, so it will bring you right there. And the second link is the link tree for Backwash, where you can see all sorts of things. I would encourage you to listen to Backwash's previous 2 like records as well. They're both very good, and you just released one pretty recently. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah. So I released I Lie Here Buried with My Rings and My Dresses, and if you listen to like the God Has Nothing to Do project, that one, was it was a bit, in my opinion, it was still a bit harsh, but it left a lot of spaces for redemption and forgiveness and light. And this one kind of buries that and just like leaves no space for like redemption. And if God Has Nothing to Do with It was fighting back, this one is kind of like just bleeding out on the ground until your battle is over. And it's got, I think the production is a bit more layered. The vocal styles are a bit more poignant, and the frequencies are a bit more harsher, in my opinion. And yeah,
You love to hear it.
yeah, yeah. And if anyone likes, when I dip my feet into like metal, this one has got a few tracks that are a bit in that vein, especially like the title track. So if you're interested, take a listen.
When's the David Diggs collab? When is that coming around?
I don't know. That would be sick though. That would be sick though. I got a lot of respect for like his craft.
Yeah.
So that would be incredible. I would have to write for like 1 week or something.
I mean, yeah, there are pieces of like of your music where I can even in your flow and like your own delivery that I hear maybe not necessarily an emphasis, but like a respect for like clipping and like.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. When they sent the beat for Blood in the Water, it was it's incredible how like things work out, because the type of music that I do is also influenced by my African upbringing. Yeah. So when they sent the beat for Blood in the Water, I was just like, these percussions sound very African, and it was just like, this is wild. I was just telling myself like, this is wild.
Amazing.
And yeah, and I had to stop myself, because you get a bit from clipping, and you're like you're influenced to do like that rapidy rap style, because it's like a clipping beat and you want to kill it. But I think just having like a solid concept, I had to stop myself, and I was just like, no, let's just have like a solid concept and do it. And very, very grateful for clipping.
Well, amazing. That's awesome. And I will be waiting patiently for you and David to collab in full. That has to happen. It will. We're all feeling it. We know it. I would love that so much. We have some more people in the chat here. Grumble Rose says, I'm excited for Ugly Hag. Honoka Suzumiya says, hi, Backwash.
Hi.
VWNB also just says Backwash with a bunch of excited emojis and emotes or whatever. With
Thank
Squared, yay, I'm so ready for that. Yo! People were excited about you doing the Dante's Inferno spoilers. People were excited about that.
Oh, thank you. I love you all.
Yeah. Which heavy metal bands would you collab with if you had an opportunity? That's from Honoka Suzumiya.
Imperial Triumphant. Imperial Triumphant would be there. Oranzi Pazuzu. Z1 Order.
I don't know either of them.
Z1 Order makes the most sense because of the music. You know, it's like a mixture of like, you know, these African spiritual songs with like metal, and it sounds so brilliant. Oranzi Pazuzu, I've just never heard anything as like weird
Okay.
as the album that I heard. It's like the glitchiness of it. You know, sometimes I would even go like, "This is glitch metal" because of like how it's just so fucking great. And you know, Imperial Triumphant, the production behind that and the use of instruments is just incredible. And liturgy as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I would love that. That'll be my top four. I would say, you know, Crisis Sigil, but I'm already collabing with Ada Rook, so those would be I guess my top five.
With Squared here says, would you ever do an entire album with Christian metal samples like the Stigmata EP? Like, I know you were saying it was your intention to do a full album, and you just like, I want to move on, so you.
I think I would do, if I had to do it, it would be like Stigmata, like Resurrection, in the sense where I just build up on Stigmata and just make it like a 10 tracker. That means some of the samples I'll probably have to find a way to do an interpolation on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because going to these bands and saying, yeah, I'm doing this you know, this blasphemous project based on meta samples. Can you clear this? They probably wouldn't clear it, but I would definitely love to do that. I would definitely love to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm playing on ideas for the next project right now. So I don't know. I think there's like a lifeline on my interest on this project. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have such a wealth of like things you can relate to also with, I mean, just using Christian imagery at all, because like how you said like Stigmata Resurrection, it like literally like Christianity has a resurrection, like that is yeah, so there's a lot to play with there. And then yeah, is it your final album ever in like 80 years going to be called like Rapture or something?
I don't know. I think like when I'm like 10 albums in, I'll stop making this like weird like abstract like hip hop with like no like rhythm or just like weirdness. I think that's how it's going to be. But right now I'm like really into like industrial hip hop still, and I feel like hip hop has a potential for exploring these darker themes in such a great way, and we haven't done enough of that yet, is what I think. You know, we had horrorcore, and horrorcore had some goofiness to it as well. Like there were two like I think spaces of it, and I think there was the most serious one, and there was the more, you know, like goofy, which is like I related to movies as well, because movies you have like goofy horror movies and like the more serious ones that explore like a lot of themes, and I think there's space enough for that. Like the most eerie music I've heard though is like Memphis hip hop, just like the approach to it, you know, is the approach to it, this like lo-fi type of instrumentation together with the content, because the content is based on their experiences, and that, you know, an experience that is based in reality to me is the most scariest thing because it exists. So you know, I'm still in here.
Wonderful. A lot of people excited about clippings. The With Squared says backwash feature on the next clipping album would be crazy.
I would love that.
Yeah, Glass Beach themselves says Code Orange and Backwash would kill me in the best way.
We've got a song on the new one. They produced Nine Hells. Yeah, not the full Code Orange, but Slade
Sure.
and yeah, I know where to run. Produced like Nine Hells on the recent album.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Oh my god. I mean, I need to stop saying amazing while you're telling me this stuff because I feel it's gonna come off as disingenuous after a little while, but it is. I mean, I'm floored. I'm floored.
Thank you.
Disposable America says I need pink wash. That's funny that I said that. I need a backwash and pink navel collab. The silliest, scariest nightmare level in a video game.
I love Pink Navel so much. They are so talented, extremely talented.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I love your new record. It's cool to hear about all this stuff, and I'm excited for your project with Ada as well. That sounds amazing. Is it gonna be? What is it? Are there like 7 layers of hell, right?
Yeah, they're on like 7.
So, is there gonna be a track for each level? No, you don't have to tell me. It's okay. It's okay. Really? Every level?
Yeah.
That's so good. That's such a good idea. That's so good. I'm stoked. That's awesome. Cool. All right. I for real stalled long enough, so let's do this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready, audience? Are you ready, chat? I hope you have the Bandcamp open, and I hope we're all ready. This will be a little dicier because what's that?
Should I talk when the song is happening or after?
Yeah, during. Talk during, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, this is like album commentary. So
awesome.
in the future,
Sounds
it'll be
good.
a thing where someone, even if they watch the YouTube video, like version of it somewhere down the line, like if they can't be here for this whole thing or if they miss it or whatever, yeah, then they can sync it up on their own and they can do it again. Things are going to get a little dicey though for us. Because when you listen on a streaming provider, you can turn the volume of just the streaming provider like down or up. And I guess if you're on Windows, you can like pick specific tabs to turn down or like turn up, but you can't really do that on Mac. And I'm using a Mac right now, so there's a chance of I'm gonna push play and then I'll never hear you again. And hopefully everyone at home has a little bit better time than I will. Well, hopefully I have a good time too. Disposable America says ready. Also, good to see you again, Disposable America. At the end, I have some announcements, and one of them you're related to. So I guess we just do it then. I'm going to give a little bit of a content warning, I guess, here. That I mean, like we've already talked about it. There's a lot of like faith-based, like anti-religious imagery, and it is. I'm not going to give. I mean, it's harsh. it's like a harsh sound, but that's less of it. Are there any like subjects specifically you think people should be prepared for, or?
Yeah, Demons has lyrics about just like suicide.
Great.
And Stigmata can be a bit graphic in some parts. So just content warning in that regard.
Yeah. And yeah, if you need to, maybe today isn't the day for someone. Again, this will be on YouTube. So if you're not feeling it today, but then you're like, I really want to, like, I'm feeling it today, like maybe a couple days from now or something, you can check that out. It'll be here for you. No worries. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, here I go.
Do a countdown.
Yes, I will do the countdown shortly. So this is Stigmata EP by Backwash, featuring several artists, which we can get into as we're going along. And I guess the first song is just called Stigmata.
Yeah.
And I'll say the song names as we go to each one as we go along. Okay. Last thing I'm going to say is if you get off from us or anything like that, you can see below me on the screen, I do have a capture of the Bandcamp, the little player. So if you find yourself, if something happens or whatever, you can try to link back up with us that way. It'll be down on the bottom right below me the entire time. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the countdown now. Here we go. Whew. Stigmata at full power. Okay. Whew. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So this samples a song called Son of God by Renaissance, which I found on some YouTube channel and was just really into the melody.
Oh, jeez. You found this just on a YouTube video?
Yeah, there's this channel called Christendom 777, which has got like all of these like different like just Christian metal songs, and just going through like their playlist, and I found this one, and I really like vibe with like the composition of it. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I'm definitely, I gotta figure something out.
No.
I will say, I mean, if you can hear me all right, I love this song so much, and it comes in so hard and so fast. It's like, it's ruthless. It's just going.
Thank you. Yeah, so, Ada Rook is my go-to, session guitarist whenever I need some like brutal like guitars, and she was like really perfect for this. Just like, I love her tones, just like how gruff they are. If you've heard like any Black Dresses record, you I guess know, because her approach to the composition of these guitar lines is just so fucking brutal. And I also had Alecto put a flute on this. There are two versions of it. There's one without a flute and there's one with the flute. And I just I just put that because I wanted to have some difference between the single version and the album version. So the album version has got like a flute to it. And big fan of Death IRL and the way they just came on the song, because I gave them like, hey, you want to like do a verse on this? And they came back in like, I think it was like 30 minutes with the verse recorded. I was like, all right, no, this is perfect. It's perfect. And the piano lines also come from the same song. And this was me just kind of getting comfortable with layering over sample bass production. So the only thing that we got was the guitar and the piano, and the drums and everything was something that we plotted. The pianos under it that we plotted. And I had a lot of fun because it was picturing a drummer, like how would a drummer do this, and trying to plot those drums in. And it was really, really fun to do it.
Yeah. I really love the lead guitar at the end there too.
Sorry?
I really love the lead guitar at the end there too.
Oh yeah, it's Ada Rook.
Yeah. And that one was produced by you.
Yeah. I was getting into my. I was playing around with the drumming a lot on this project.
And this one's also produced by you, and it is called Demons.
Yeah. So this one samples Antesta, and I also found it using the YouTube channel with like a bunch of like Christian metal, and
Wow.
yeah, it's I didn't want to find the high quality version of these samples, and I mostly just used YouTube to MP3 to extract most of these samples, because I do like the way like the lower quality kind of matches up with what I'm doing, because the drums are distorted and I want the sound to be a bit crushed when it comes out, and it just works nice with the drumming that was going on this, and I had Ada Rook doing the guitar on this, and Debbie's just like incredible, like eerie hook. It's just like so scary. And I guess the idea behind this one is getting more graphic in the battle against my soul, between like heaven or hell, and I feel like this track is the one that prepared me for my current project in the terms of how deep I can go with like my expression.
Yeah. And your delivery on this is also like so desperate sounding.
Oh, thank you. It was kind of I think this was one of the first times rapping on something with such a slow tempo, and when in order, because there's some people who can do it in the sense of, in order for them to just keep that steady pace going on a slow tempo, they just make that delivery more aggressive and more pointed. And for me, I tried that, then I was like, this wasn't working, and it was just a situation of adding more syllables or coming up with an interesting flow to kind of like fill in those spaces. Because like if you're doing 8 bars for something with such like a slower tempo, it's like a long 8 bars. So it was like kind of like interesting to write, because I've never like written something like that.
Something I really like about the hook on this one is like how it takes an already like kind of slow beat and almost like it like feels like it puts it into halftime almost.
Yeah, it feels like so. It feels like you're in a fever dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I got it back, I was like, go ahead.
Yeah, and this like like the sliding lead that came in at the background that like very momentarily clashes with the instrumental is so good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, like Ada Rook is.
Yeah,
is dope.
I'm just gonna keep complimenting you and Ada Rook the whole time. That's what.
Both of them incredible.
Yeah, and this one is Psalms 23.
Yeah, so this one I actually found it on a Christian black metal playlist that I was searching, like on my Spotify, and it samples. People thought it sampled Silent Hill, but it samples Saving Grace, The King is Coming. And I just like how atonal that it sounded. And, I was like, wow, I rap a lot just talking about how sad I am. I want to just like kind of like use this one to get into like this Christian imagery in a creative way. And I was writing it, and then Camp Blood were like really perfect for this, because the energy was just like so at the roof. So when I got the verse back, I was like, whoa. I was like, I really like this.
That's great. That leads into a question I had, and also that Disposable America has. How did you get in contact with Camp Blood?
Twitter. Twitter is a perfect place to network.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's how we met.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just like on Twitter, and just like our energy just vibe together. And they invited me for a show, and it would have been dope because we would have been able to like do Sam's 23 together, but it was just like too close. It was just like too close. I was just like, sorry, we got other things going on.
And in the chat, this is for the last song, but Vario6 says she's so good at doing like ominous hooks, which I agree with. And Gol Gito says so these songs feature YouTube to MP3 compression as well. LMAO.
Yeah, I would say every sample on Go has nothing to do with it, and every sample on Psalms 23 was YouTube to MP3.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it just crushes it so well. I think it's like natural, like big crushing, just like.
Have you ever experimented with creating your own like instrumentals and then uploading them to YouTube just so you can bit crush them with a YouTube compressor?
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, and before Camp Blood comes in on this one, somebody emailed me this sound of like fireworks, and they were like, hey, you should sample this one day. And I needed a way to connect my verse with Camp Blood's verse. So I just put the fireworks there and put them through a distortion effect, and that's how I was able to make that weird like noise thing, which is like pretty fun. Pretty fun.
And the person that sent you the fireworks, were they pretty happy about that?
Yeah.
This last song, we're on the last song now. It's Interlude of Doom.
Yeah, that's I'm really, really influenced by the Montreal noise scene, just like experimental scene in general. And Johnny Void is one of the shows that I used to go to most of the time in Montreal. And I was very honored for them to put, their talent on this project of mine. I just like their composition and the way it, and the approach to like build-ups and just samples in itself. They were telling me this story about how they have like an album of like piano music, and when I was hearing it, I was like, oh, so you like sample most of this stuff, and you mean you like play most of this stuff, right? And they were telling me no, like every note is just like sampled from like different places to make like this piano line. I'm like, this is like so Montreal noise scene, and I get it, but this is wild at the same time. They're like so talented. And shout out to Alecto, shout out to Skin, who did like a Heaven's Interlude of my project, and just like really influenced by all of these people. And they kind of gave me the confidence to like shout on some of these songs that I do.
Wow. And as far as like influence is concerned, it's funny because this reminds me the most of what you did for the Glass Beach Remix album.
Oh yeah. For that one, I was listening to a lot of Shushu. I don't know, I was just like really into Shushu. I was like, at that time, I was like, oh, I was so obsessed with Girl with the Basket Fruit and how eerie it sounds, and I was just thinking like, I want to make something as eerie as this one day. And in terms of like, oh, I would like to experiment on Blood Rivers, and that just like came perfectly. My favorite part we come in with the Blood Rivers remix was there's this sample which is essentially somebody went through the deepest hole in the world, and recorded the sounds that came out of there. And conspiracy theorists were like, "Oh, this sounds like hell." So it was like,
yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So that it was like really fun to do, to just put that mesh together.
I think I'm getting hilariously. I think I'm getting feedback with my microphone, which is weird. Maybe not. Maybe, but yeah. Well, that's the record, though. That's the EP.
Thank you.
And again, I mean, if I can, I'm gonna go back to the web browsing screen to look at this for a little while. They can still see and hear you. Just saying.
Awesome.
Well, not if I do that. Okay. I just wanted to point out, like, so we've got Stigmata over here, Stigmata EP, and then we have God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It. Black Sailor Moon. Also, I really like Black Sailor Moon. I don't know, like.
Thank you.
I've listened to here. Let's go look at some more releases. I mean, you've got quite a catalog here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I Lie Here Buried with My Rings and My Dresses as well, and it's all so good. And every other thing that you've done is on streaming services except for Stigmata EP, right? Or is
Stigmata and God Has Nothing to Do with It. Mostly because of like sample clearance, but everything else is on Spotify.
Okay, great. I would encourage you absolutely all to stream the newest album as well. I love it so much, and I really like God Has Nothing to Do with This. I love that too. That was I believe God Has Nothing to Do with This is the first thing that I ever listened to of yours, and I'm so happy that I found you on Twitter. I don't remember how.
I was probably just shit posting. I do that a
lot. Yeah, but I agree with you that Twitter, social media, very good way to reach out to people and to make connections, especially with other artists that you admire or who like peers that are doing really great work.
Absolutely.
I know you're in Canada. Have you ever done shows like in the U.S. before?
Not yet. We're hoping we can do some in the future, but I guess to give a spoiler, not on the exact shows, but I think next year we're probably going to be in Europe a bit.
Wow. Europe might get you before we do. That's all right. That's all right.
I think the problem with that we came across with the American shows was it was just, I think it was at the time where people were like, oh, things are open up, so let's do all of these shows, but we have to make sure that it makes sense and everything is like taken care of properly, just in terms of like safety and just.
I mean, that's a hard discussion all across the board right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even we've, like, talked touring and everything, and it's something we definitely want to be doing, for sure.
Yeah.
But it is, like... I mean, one mentality that I know that we have is even if a tour got announced, or even if, like... I think this should be the mentality for almost any artist right now, is, like, ready at any moment to cancel again. I mean, like, and I don't even mean like we can't trust the government to like cancel shows, because by the time they do that, it's already too late. Like, so a lot of it has to be, unfortunately, the onus has to be on us because it's not being handled properly. So, for example, if the Delta variant here in the U.S. And whatever, there's another variant in New York, I think, that they're having a bit of an issue with. If those get pretty severely out of hand, I think it will become a very hard conversation for a lot of musicians and artists to start pushing to make the decision to cancel tours and stuff. Like, not because we have to, but because, like, I don't know, I just don't want people to get hurt. It's hard. it's a hard conversation. But hopefully you get out here eventually, and I really hope you can do your Europe shows. And I know I've seen like some of the live performance stuff that you've put up on social media of you performing songs here and there, and I would love to see you live.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And hey, maybe we could play a show together eventually, you know?
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
If you're ever in Montreal, let us know.
Oh, you know, if we do anything like, I suppose, yeah, on the East Coast, like up near like Canada, if we go up that direction, you're the first person I'm reaching out to. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, great. I mean, that we're done here then. Are there any last things that you want to talk about? Other things you want to, plug, announce, anything like that?
Yeah, so I would say I just want to plug some artists, if that's all right.
Yes.
Censored Dialogue had a verse on my song Terror Packets, and they released an album. So if you have a chance, if you have a chance, pick it up. It's like incredible. And DJ Roswell, KFC Murder Chicks have been releasing some incredible projects. So if you have a chance, check that out. And Chloe Hotline's got some interesting work as well. And if you have a chance, check that out. And Pseudo Antigon as well just released an album this year. So check those out. Because sometimes people say, where are the queer or trans artists? But they are there.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, check those out.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's something very perfect about me asking you if there's anything you want to say and you pitching other bands, because that's basically what the spirit of this live stream is taking like artists and stuff that I love and trying to introduce them to people, and hopefully that happens with this. I would love for more people to hear your music. I think you're doing really incredible things, and
thank you.
You're approaching your music with a lot of sincerity and intensity, and I think a lot of people would really love to know it. I mean, I know that you have a bit of a fan in Anthony Fantano, and he can get you out to more people than I can. Ooh, a cat!
It's men talk.
Oh. Of course you have a black cat. Of course.
It's Chachi's cat.
Okay, all right.
She's the best.
Wonderful. And I will say, Disposable America also did say again, thanks Ashanti, you rock. Thanks for this. Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
And said that you're a legendary shit poster.
I just do music on the side.
Yeah. Everyone needs a side hustle, and yours is backwash. Great. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Thanks for doing this. I'm gonna go to the talk screen here at the end. I got to do a little bit of some upkeep here, so they can still hear you. You can keep talking. It's fine. So thanks everybody. We do this every Saturday, or at least we will for the foreseeable future, unless I have something come up or I need to take a day or whatever. But I want to go over the upcoming schedule really quick if we can. This past month has been wild. I've been very fortunate to have these people on. I had McKinley Dixon on the 10th. I had Field Medic last week. Those are both in the listen along playlist on YouTube already, so you can check those out. And then I think Monday-ish, this listen along will go up on YouTube as well. So if you didn't catch the whole thing, or if you just want to listen to it again, please go ahead and do that. It'll be there, and I'll post about it on Monday as well. And you can follow me on Twitter at kwilliamwhite if you want to know about more listen-alongs that are coming up, or if you want to meet. I mean, I'm also the drummer for Glass Beach, so if you're interested in that band at all, I run the band's social media accounts and stuff too. So that's a good end for that. Next week, super stoked! It's our first recurring band. Origami Angel is coming back on. We covered Somewhere City last time, and we're going to be doing Gami Gang this time, which is exciting. Gami Gang is about an hour long, so it's going to be a heck of a stream. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be great. So come back next week for that. The Saturday after that, we have Konami Code. That's by Arcadia Gray, which I'm super stoked for. Really love Arcadia Gray. I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with them, so it's gonna be dope to have them on and to do that. Also, Backwash, Golgito said thanks. That was great fun. Really love her music and was amazing hearing about it directly from her. I just wanted you to be able to see that.
Thank you.
And then, let's see, last thing here. The 7th is Arcadia Gray. The 14th, I'm having Sister Species on, which is a Twin Cities band in Minnesota. Not a lot of people know about Sister Species. I'm going to bring this image down so you can see me. I only just found out about them. Check out their latest record. It is amazing. It's so good, and the production is awesome, and they have just brilliant horn orchestration. It's indie rock, like alternative with just very complex complementary horn arrangements. If I could tell anybody to listen to a couple bands right now, the ones that I would say are Sister Species, and then here I've got the next Saturday after that, I'm having Nightlife on, which if you don't know about Nightlife, please get on that. They released an EP recently that is really, really wonderful. Hansel is an incredible producer and did a lot of production for Pink Shift previously, and has done stuff for a lot of other bands. Works really close with like Barty Strange and a bunch of people. Just a really a sweetheart, a peer, wonderful person. And Nightlife is like gent soul, like neo soul kind of stuff. It's awesome, so good. I would check that out. I'm having them on August 21st, and then on the 28th, I'm having Car Talk on. My friend Chuck and Car Talk is going to come on to talk about Past Like Pollen, their last record that they put out. And then I believe this is the last one that I have booked out. So all the way September 4th, Disposable America reached out to me in a lovely, lovely way. And I'm going to have Carol on, the artist Carol, and we're going to cover Spill, which is another wonderful record that I encourage you to check out. In the meantime, get ready for that listen along, all of those. It's awesome. I'm super stoked for that. When Disposable America sent me the link and I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is right up my alley. I love this. So I'm stoked for that. I'm, again, very fortunate to have all of these bands to come on and talk about their music. It's really exciting. I love doing this. It's super awesome. And yes, what's up?
Don't you have Jiraiya on?
Yeah, and that's the last thing I was going to say. Literally on Monday. So to take a break tomorrow and then come back on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. Central. I'll just show you. And then Mountain Time is 6 p.m. or something. Okay. But like 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, I am having Jiraiya and Cole, who is the collaborator with the band Jiraiya ! Is Jiraiya and Cole together. They just released an EP, A Beginner's Guide to Faking Your Own Death, or something.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And Jiraiya and I connected through Twitter a long, long time ago as well, and we've been really close throughout the pandemic and everything. So he actually sent me the EP about a month ago to listen to, and I've been listening to it a lot because it's so good. Just to prepare, because we knew we wanted to do a listen along like right after it got released. So I'm excited for that. You gotta listen to it. You gotta. It's amazing. And Jiraiya is so young and so good. So stoked for that. This upcoming Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, that's it. Any last things you want to say?
No, just thank you for having me, and thanks everybody for joining us. This was awesome.
Great. I'll see you all next Saturday. Have a good rest of your week, and thank you again to Backwash for being on. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.